We've spent some time with various clients and customers, and I think people are on different journeys. So they're all in different places in terms of confidence levels and delivery as well. And I think it does vary depending on the size of the organisation, the amount of resource they have, and the focus they're placing on it. I think what's common in terms of starting point, I think majority of firms spent quite a lot of time identifying requirements, identifying the minimum viable requirements that they needed to deliver by the end of July. And I think that was fairly consistent across the board. And some people have got some help and got support to validate those requirements as well. I think the other common thread that we've seen is that people are identifying high-risk customer journeys. So in terms of the prioritization exercise, I think there has been recognition that they need to focus on the harms and the really high-risk journeys as well, and invest in terms of improving outcome testing and compliance and reporting. I think what's missing and what's been missing for me, and I think where the gap is probably the proactive engagement. I'm not necessarily seeing that many firms step into the proactive engagement piece and look at their data and analytics and machine learning capabilities to see how they can really understand their customer, the customer base, the target market audience, the vulnerabilities, and also look at how they can utilize things like their transactional data or voice and text analytics to step in to understand when circumstances change and how they can proactively intervene and provide support. I think there's some firms are looking at this and but they don't know where to start. Their data's in different places. They don't know how to bring all of that data together. But I think it's more of a longer term strategy rather than a implementation date focus. I think, and again, there's been mixed focus around sort of like employee engagement as well. I spoke to a firm this week who they said they're sort of like frontline staff at the moment don't know much about consumer duty. They've got compulsory training coming, but it's that compulsory training piece rather than really embedding the understanding within the culture of the organisation. So I personally believe that majority have got still a lot to do, and they'll still have a lot to do post-implementation. I think personally what I'd like to see is that this doesn't become one of those we have to do it, it's we want to do it. And I think that's where I'd really like to see the shift, and I don't think we're feeling that necessarily yet. I think I'm hoping that it will come as this evolves.
That's quite worrying when you say a lot of frontline staff don't even know what it is yet, but they've got training coming, 90 days to get trained up on something that's absolutely sort of regulatory and imperative, but also could be life-changing for millions of customers.